In the shadow of a quaint, yet eerily silent town, there was an elementary school that harbored a secret, much like the one about the Flat Stanley Project, but this time it was with the Traveling Doll Project. This project aimed to foster global awareness and friendship among students by sending a doll from one classroom to another around the world, each student adding a trinket or a piece of clothing before passing it on. However, what started as an innocent educational activity soon morphed into a series of unsettling events that led the school to a chilling decision. The doll, named Marianne, was a beautiful porcelain figure with glassy blue eyes and hair that shimmered like spun gold. Initially, the children were enchanted by Marianne, eagerly awaiting their turn to take her home and add their personal touch. But as Marianne traveled from hand to hand, something within her seemed to change. Her once radiant expression dulled, and those glassy eyes seemed to flicker with a sinister gleam under the moonlight. Whispers among the children began to spread, tales of Marianne moving on her own, her eyes following them around the room. Some claimed to hear her whisper their names in the dead of night. Parents laughed it off as overactive imaginations, but the unease among the school staff grew. It was when Marianne returned from her journey abroad that the true horror unfolded. Attached to her dress was a new trinket, a small, intricately carved wooden amulet from a distant land, rumored to be cursed. The teacher who first opened the package felt a cold shiver run down her spine, an ominous foreboding that she couldn't shake. The following weeks were marred by inexplicable occurrences. Lights flickering, sudden drops in temperature, and an overwhelming sense of dread that permeated the school. It escalated when a child who had taken Marianne home refused to return to school, speaking in terrified whispers of the doll's eyes glowing red in the dark, and of nightmares so vivid they left him screaming until dawn. The school attempted to remove the amulet, but it seemed fused to the fabric of Marianne's dress, unyielding to any attempt to separate it. As fear took hold, the project was hastily canceled, but Marianne was not so easily forgotten. Locked away in a storeroom, her presence loomed over the school like a dark cloud. Staff members reported hearing soft, mocking laughter echoing through the halls long after the children had gone home, and some swore they saw a small, shadowy figure darting around corners. The decision to end the Traveling Doll Project was unanimous, but the damage had been done. Marianne had woven herself into the fabric of the school's history, a specter that refused to be banished. The story doesn't end here, for the mystery of Marianne and the cursed amulet remains unsolved, a haunting reminder of the project that was meant to bring the world closer, but instead unleashed a nightmare that lingered in the shadows, waiting. As the weeks turned into months, the school's atmosphere grew increasingly tense. Marianne's whispers seemed to seep through the cracks in the storeroom door, her laughter mingling with the wind that rattled the windows. Attempts to dispose of the doll were met with failure. Marianne always found her way back to the school, appearing in the most unexpected places, her blue eyes gleaming with malice. The principal, a rational man named Mr. Harding, initially skeptical of the supernatural explanations, found himself confronting the inexplicable. One evening, as he worked late in his office, the air turned icy cold, and the faint sound of a child's giggle echoed in the empty corridors. Turning around, he was met with the sight of Marianne sitting on his desk, the amulet glowing ominously. In that moment, Mr. Harding knew the situation had spiraled beyond their control. Determined to protect his students, Mr. Harding enlisted the help of local historians and occult experts, hoping to find a solution. They uncovered the dark history of the amulet, linked to an ancient curse cast by a scorned witch centuries ago. The curse was meant to awaken the deepest fears of those who encountered it, feeding on their terror. Armed with this knowledge, a plan was formulated to break the curse. A ceremony was to be held on the school grounds during the next full moon, requiring the participation of the entire school community. The ritual, steeped in ancient traditions and whispered incantations, aimed to sever the connection between Marianne and the amulet, thus neutralizing the curse. The night of the ceremony was fraught with tension. The schoolyard, illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight, was surrounded by a circle of salt, with Marianne and the amulet placed at its center. The community, holding hands, recited the incantations as the experts performed the ritual. Just as the ceremony reached its climax, a violent wind whipped through the yard, extinguishing the candles and shrouding everything in darkness. In the silence that followed, the ground trembled slightly, as if the earth itself was reacting to the ritual. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the wind died down, and the candles flickered back to life of their own accord. Marianne lay motionless, her eyes dull and lifeless once more. The amulet, previously inseparable from the doll, now lay a few feet away, its glow extinguished. In the weeks that followed, the school slowly returned to normalcy. The chilling occurrences ceased, and laughter once again filled the classrooms. However, the shadow of the events hung heavy over the town, a reminder of the thin veil between the ordinary and the unknown. But our story doesn't end here. The amulet, now considered harmless, was locked away in a vault, its secrets buried with the memories of those frightful months. Marianne, her once beautiful features marred by the ordeal, was carefully stored away, never to be part of any project again. Yet whispers among the staff hinted at unease, a fear that the peace they now enjoyed was merely the calm before another storm. As the seasons changed, a new mystery began to unfold. Objects in the school started to move inexplicably, and a shadowy figure was seen wandering the hallways at dusk. The question remained, had the curse truly been broken, or had they awakened something far more sinister? The story of Marianne and the cursed amulet had closed one chapter, only to leave the door ajar for another, darker tale to emerge. As tranquility seemed to return to the school, a subtle undercurrent of unease persisted among those who knew the true depth of the past events. The mysterious occurrences, although less frequent, never completely ceased, hinting at an unresolved thread in the tapestry of this dark tale. The school year progressed, and the incident with Marianne and the amulet receded into the background, becoming little more than a whispered legend among newer students. But the faculty, particularly Mr. Harding, couldn't shake the feeling that the peace they were experiencing was precariously thin. Then, during an unusually cold autumn, a discovery was made that would unravel the semblance of calm. A group of students, working on a history project in the school's archive, stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind one of the bookshelves. Inside, they found a collection of old documents and photographs, among them a picture that sent shivers down their spines. It was an image of the school's first principal, standing proudly in front of the building with a familiar figure by his side, Marianne, looking exactly as she did today, amulet and all. This revelation sent shockwaves through the school. How could Marianne have been here over a century ago, unchanged by time? Mr. Harding, confronted with this impossibility, realized the ritual might have been a temporary solution, a band-aid over a wound that spanned generations. Driven by a newfound urgency, Mr. Harding and a select group of staff delved deeper into the school's history, uncovering a series of unexplained incidents and disappearances dating back to its founding. Marianne's presence was a constant in each of these stories, always appearing in the background, an eternal witness to the school's hidden history. The turning point came on a night when the moon hung heavy and full in the sky, casting eerie shadows through the classroom windows. Mr. Harding and his team, armed with the knowledge of the past and the desperation of those determined to protect the future, initiated a second, more powerful ritual. This time, they sought not to sever Marianne from the amulet, but to confront the source of the curse itself. As they recited ancient verses, a figure materialized before them, not Marianne, but the witch who had cursed the amulet. She revealed the true nature of the curse. It was not meant to spread fear, but to protect a powerful secret hidden within the school grounds, a secret Marianne was bound to guard. In a twist of fate, it was discovered that the school was built upon the site of an ancient well, said to be a source of untold power. The witch, who had once been a protector of this power, sought to prevent its misuse by casting the amulet and Marianne as eternal guardians. Understanding the gravity of this revelation, Mr. Harding negotiated a new pact with the spirit of the witch. In exchange for the school's promise to safeguard the secret of the well, the witch agreed to lift the curse, freeing Marianne from her eternal vigil. As dawn broke, Marianne's porcelain form cracked and crumbled into dust, her spirit finally released. The amulet, its glow dimmed forever, was cast into the depths of the ancient well, sealing the pact. The school emerged from this ordeal forever changed. The shadow of the past was lifted, revealing a future filled with promise and new beginnings. But the story of Marianne, the traveling doll, remains a poignant reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of the known, a testament to the school's legacy as a guardian of secrets not meant for the world of the living. And so, our story comes to a close, not with an end, but with the understanding that some mysteries are better left unsolved, their secrets kept safe for generations to come. Thank you for listening to my channel.